Do 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 do.
Do.
What? Why? What?
What just happened?
Am I off on what song you're singing?
What song is
Well,
it?
all you
I
contributed
don't
was
know.
do.
So I don't know what you thought I was
Wait,
saying.
was yours? No, no, no. That one or
I thought you were going, my Sharona.
Yeah, Amanda
Oh.
Maybe I did it wrong.
Amanda was right.
Was
guys,
it
welcome
wrong?
to Real Awkward.
Welcome.
My name's Andy,
Amanda.
I'm Ashley.
and if you guys have not came onto this podcast before, it's the best damn podcast you heard today.
Just today, though.
Only today. Maybe yesterday, maybe not as much. Today though, oh yeah,
Tomorrow, 50-50.
yeah. But we are present.
So
Enjoy
if
the
you're-
gift.
If you're listening to this like first thing in the morning, just quit now
Yeah. Just call in.
because the rest of them are gonna suck.
Yeah.
It's gonna get it does get worse. If you're a binger, we appreciate it, and you have to tell us, does it get worse as you keep listening?
I think it depends
I just
what
meant like
episode.
other people's podcasts.
Yeah.
Like
Oh, I thought you meant ours specifically.
gonna go listen-
My bad. I got to take that back.
all the other episodes are trash.
I have to reel it back.
I think we got some bangers.
Banger.
Banger.
We do. You guys can go listen to them if you want. We've been doing podcasting for 2 years. We have over 100 episodes that you can go gallivanting in your car and listen to. Correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
I frequently gallivant podcasts.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
What's
And
another word?
I just want to like
You
throw
listen?
it in there.
Yeah.
Gallivant is a TV show that was on for 2 seasons. It's actually really
What the
good.
hell is that?
It's like a medieval musical.
what the
it
hell is
sounds really weird.
It would
it does.
be.
It would be.
It's good though.
Oh, okay.
Just go with it.
I
Anyway,
believe in her.
we're gonna move on.
I don't know.
Guys, if you clicked on the thumbnail, we are talking about pre-MCU universe. Wait, that's MC
redundant.
universe. We're talking about before comics were hot, and we're making a deadline, okay? When Iron Man started, that's when we think that the rise to fame started, correct?
We're not going to start at Hulk.
Yeah, because
Okay.
that was the thing.
We had a
Technically-
little bit of a disagreement here that Hulk is technically
And we're saying
where
the-
the MCU started.
The Incredible Hulk.
Yeah.
Not
Incredible
Hulk.
No, Ang Lee's Hulk, not right.
It's
But it's funny because that Hulk technically was the same Hulk in the Incredible Hulk, but the MCU was not connected at that point.
You mean like the
So-
storyline continued
Yeah,
from
so-
that? Because I've never seen the OG Hulk.
So even though it's
It's
Edward
stupid, don't waste your
Norton and Eric Bana are both supposed to be the same Bruce Banner from the same universe. So it's like, because they talk about it, right? 0 Days of Incident and
yeah. Okay, so okay, Incredible Hulk
Uh-huh.
with Edward Norton.
yes.
Basically, is Nick Fury in it at all?
I think at the end, no, he's not.
Not
It's
at all.
Iron Man.
Iron Man is the first instance of Nick Fury.
Iron Man comes with Incredible Hulk and he talks to General Ross. And he says, "Hey, we have Avengers Initiative. We'd like to get Hulk on, but there's no Nick Fury yet."
Okay.
Am I right or am I
I
right?
don't know. I've
Okay.
seen it like once.
So we're going to say Iron Man though.
Okay,
2008 Iron Man, right? And
But I will
Yes.
concede that in the Incredible Hulk, there are things that continue to carry on into the MCU from that storyline.
wait, I'm now thinking that we have this all wrong and Incredible Hulk was after Iron Man
I was gonna say that would make more sense.
because Iron Man shows up in it.
Wait, when did Iron Man?
2008 was Iron Man.
Same with the Incredible Hulk.
Okay, so it was the same year. It was just an
yeah.
end credit scene. So what we're talking about on this podcast, by the way, my friends, is we are specifically talking about the characters, the movies, and things that happened before that start of the universe. So we're going to include Hulk and Iron Man in that spark, right? That started it
Sure.
all off.
Yeah.
So my first
'Cause
question.
let's be honest.
So
we don't want to talk about the Incredible
For what
Hulk
it's
anymore.
worth,
No, we don't.
I was just Googling some things. Iron Man was released in theaters before the Incredible Hulk.
Okay.
So it would make sense for Tony Stark
Yes.
to show up.
That makes
Yep.
sense.
Okay. Starting at Iron Man. Pre-Iron Man.
Okay, so wait, so you want to...
This is a really long way to say we're going to talk about superhero movies before Iron Man.
Yes.
Yeah.
So...
I'm sorry,
if you
I just
guys are
cut you
still
off there.
with us, we are lost on how this podcast direction is supposed to go.
I just got us back
No,
on
I
track,
feel like
baby.
somebody's in their car being like, yeah,
No, no, guys.
yeah.
No,
Oh,
you're right.
yeah.
Wait. Are they
Yeah,
right?
what?
Wait, maybe
No,
they
yeah.
weren't
You're good.
right.
And then they just turn it off.
Maybe they're just
They're
like,
on this
dun,
journey
dun,
with
dun.
us, okay? Just
Okay.
accept it.
Okay, so here's the deal. before. This will be easier for us, I think, to work our way back. What was the movie that was released before Iron Man that would have not been in MCU?
If you're asking me to go chronological,
No. I'm
can't.
not asking you to go chronological.
So-
I'm just saying, like, what was? I feel like it was Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver
Yeah,
Surfer.
so I'm thinking if we're gonna go backwards,
Yeah.
I'm gonna say if I'm thinking in my brain early 2000s.
I think it was 2005 or four.
The Fantastic Four movies I think were right before the MCU kind of
Yeah.
kicked off. So
Yeah.
you had Fantastic Four, and then Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer. So
Right.
Chris Evans,
Hot garbage.
they're crappy, but they're good.
You're so nice to them.
Oh yeah, they're
They're
trash.
not good.
They are trash.
Not good.
They're better than Fan Four Stick.
Okay. We can't even talk about that movie because that was in the middle of the MCU because
Trash.
Fox was like, we're
Trash.
going to lose the characters.
Okay, so you have Chris Evans in his first Marvel movie appearance
Okay.
as the Human Torch.
Fair. He was the Human Torch.
And then Jessica Alba as Sue Storm,
They
which
were both the sex appeal in
made no
those
sense.
movies, by the way.
made no sense. And then the guy who Michael Chiklis was Ben Grimm.
Yeah, it's a rough
Oy.
rendition of the Thing. If you ask me, I do not like it.
Yeah,
not
it's rough.
not even close to comic accurate.
None of them
That's
are
a
great.
nerd statement, and I'm going to stick by it.
In my opinion, the best thing to come out of those movies was Doctor Doom.
Okay.
His costume looked great.
Yes, he did.
Him
But
as the character was. Meh.
the Fan Four Stick Doom was really bad.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
not talking about that.
But you're right.
Forget
The
it.
guy from Nip Tuck, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought he was a good Doctor Doom. I didn't think he was terrible.
No, and the Doom looked good.
yeah, that's
yeah.
what I mean is
Yep.
Doctor Doom looked correct.
Ash is frantically she's like, I need to see this Doom. I need to see this Doom.
no.
Ah.
And
I don't know who you're
then-
talking about. So
And then in Rise of the Silver Surfer,
Yep.
you had the Silver Surfer character, which was underutilized because Silver Surfer is such a cool character.
Well, so here's why I think we should bring it up immediately is that Marvel, the MCU, they're about to move into their next phase where there's a new bad guy.
yeah,
In Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer, the new bad guy is Galactus.
Yes.
And Galactus, you see him as like a universe cloud.
he's a space cloud.
And you get to see like I think a shape of his face or something like that, like in the I don't know, but
I don't think you got to see him at all. Yeah, I think it was like the Mummy when he makes like a sand cloud with his
Yes,
face in it.
it was very much like that.
that, which
Yep.
was too bad because they were not at a place they are now to really go on this journey of
Right.
truly explaining who the Silver Surfer is,
Right.
truly explaining who Galactus is. They're getting to a point now, so I do hope Silver Surfer comes back.
it would be cool to bring Silver Surfer back. Couple different reasons. Number one, we probably won't see Iceman again, who is similar looking to him.
Yes.
So to be able to finally move a character into the MCU that looks like that, nobody else looks like that.
And they can do it with the graphics now. I think they could do it right because
Yeah, I agree.
Colossus, when he
incredible.
he looks right.
Wait, in Deadpool.
Yes, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
When he is all metal,
Yes.
he looks similar to how Silver Surfer his
And
body
that's
would
all
look.
CGI.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
So almost 20 years ago now, for Rise of the Silver Surfer,
Yeah.
they didn't have the technology to make that look good because he was kind of like a semi-gloss silver.
Right. It's those classic like early 2000s graphics.
He
the
needs
best
to
you could
be
do.
almost.
Yeah.
He needs to be chrome.
Which is funny. I mean, it wasn't a far stretch from the T2.
No.
Like, right? Like,
No,
yeah.
and now, honestly, my dad is a huge Silver Surfer fan. We used to play the NES game all the time we were kids, which is so difficult.
It's such a hard game.
But I would love to see the Silver Surfer come back.
Yeah, I agree.
And I'm a huge Fantastic Four fan, so I would love for them to be reintegrated
They
into
have
the
to
MCU.
do it right, though. They have to do it right.
I think that they would be best to maybe like bring in Reed Richards here and there.
Yeah, sure. Somebody has to cameo first in another movie.
But I don't think they can successfully do Fantastic Four again. They
really?
have tri-
By
there have
themselves?
there was the shitty Fantastic Four movie from the 80s.
Which never got released.
There was the Tupac
Yep.
from the early 2000s.
Right.
And then there-
Tupac?
yeah, Tupac.
Close. Good job.
And then there was the Fan Four Stick. And I
keep
think
forgetting that was a remake, but also
I think people are afraid to touch Fantastic Four.
that Fan Four Stick was. Did you ever see? Was it called Super 8 or?
I saw Super 8.
Maybe it wasn't Super 8. It's based in Seattle. And it's about kids that have superpowers. Do you know what I'm talking about?
The Seeker or
I don't remember what it's called. Guys, if you're
Anyway,
listening,
I know
hopefully
what
you know
you're
what I'm
talking
talking about. That director.
Chronicle or something.
No, that's what it is. I
Yeah.
think that's what it is. The Chronicle or the Chronicles. That director got high praise. High praise. And they were like, dude, come, Ryan Coogler, I think his name. Come on and do
Fan Four Stick.
Fan Four Stick. And he was like, okay. And then apparently halfway through the production, he like went nuts. Or
I
was
just remember
pissed
that
or something like that.
He was posting a lot on the internet
Yeah, he
about
was like,
how blah,
dude,
blah, blah.
yeah, he was like, they're on my ass, and I can't produce this film the way I want to do it, and like the studio is too difficult to work with, and burned bridges. But then obviously the final product was rough. So you're right. It's like progressively it got worse.
Yeah.
And with a remake, but now Marvel's got that sumbitch.
Do they?
Yes.
Oh, because they own Fox now.
Yep. So once they bought Fox, they now have rights to Fantastic Four and X-Men and Daredevil and something else. And they have Ghost Rider back.
By the way, that director's name is Josh Trank.
Oh, I was way off.
Wow.
Oh wait, well, no, Ryan Coogler did Black Panther. I think he's actually the director that did Black Panther.
Okay.
And-
He did, but the guy who did Chronicle
Trank.
and Fantastic Four, Fan
Right.
Four Stick.
Fan
Four
Fan
Stick.
Four
Call it.
Stick.
That's Josh Trank.
Josh Trank. He's the one that like lost his shit and started saying some unprofessional stuff
Okay.
on it. But so that was your run in with Fantastic Four. So I hope that Marvel can bring it back. I hope that they can do Ben Grimm justice because he's my favorite Marvel character.
You do love him.
I love the Thing. And Reed Richards too needs to be done better.
Truthfully, I
Yeah.
thought that we were going to see Reed Richards. I don't know why. I thought we were going to see Reed Richards
Yeah.
in WandaVision when
Yeah.
they were trying to create a machine to get through the barrier.
Oh, you thought that
I
he
don't
was
know.
going to help with that?
I don't know why, but I was like,
would have been cool.
I was like, this is a Reed Richards thing.
Well, it's tough because there's a lot of people that are smart in the MCU,
Yes.
like to actually be scientists, but the main three have always been Hank Pym, Tony Stark, and Reed Richards. Those three are like the ones that develop almost everything for the MCU when it
Yes.
comes to like the Avengers teams and that type of stuff. So I agree with you that it
And-
would have been cool to bring Reed Richards on.
and
as
I don't know
a
if he would ever
consultant.
be used as a full character.
Yeah.
But I think it would be interesting to at least bring him on as like a not cameo, but like he's the science guy.
Oh, sure. Yep.
He helped.
Yep.
He's the new Q or whatever, and he helps make stuff.
That makes sense. Yeah. that makes
So I don't want to get too much into it because we do have a whole episode about this
Yeah,
series.
sure.
But I have a list on my phone now. Chronologically, the next thing to come would be the Spider-Man.
Oh, and so we obviously do
we have a whole episode about the
full
Spider-Man
episode,
movie,
yep.
so please go check that one out.
I think it's just called Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I think that's
yeah.
what it is.
So, but that would be Spider-Man 3.
Oh, you're sure.
If we're going
Yep.
backwards.
Yeah, and so we'll skip over the Spider-Man. Go check out the other podcast, guys. For we literally go through MCU and previous Spider-Man. So before that, I think is X-Men, then, right?
Ghost Rider.
Oh, Ghost Rider, the second one.
I have it just shows me the first one.
Okay,
It's
okay.
2007.
Yeah, I think the
2012 was Spirit of Vengeance.
Oh, see, so Spirit of Vengeance was happening during the MCU's
Yeah.
like Inception.
So,
And
okay.
nobody cared.
Nicolas
I
Cage,
watched it.
dude. Yeah.
I'm sure you did.
I love him. So Ghost Rider, the first one, was a lot. But like,
Yeah.
if you're a fan of the character, which I am,
Yeah,
a big
sure.
Ghost Rider fan, it worked.
It was. I think I remember enjoying it for the most
It
part.
was very corny,
It was corny. Yeah.
but it worked.
Nicolas Cage being Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, and you have Sam Neill, and he is in it, and the kind of whole thing with like the devil and stuff was kind of like, eh. But they always pair Nicolas Cage up with these babes, and it was Ava Mendes, and you're
Oh,
like,
yeah, that casting was
never,
interesting.
Never,
Yeah.
And he had the fakest hair, and
It was pretty bad, but he was in the jeans and the leather jacket.
Yeah.
Right? And he was a daredevil. Right? Like this
Yeah.
the comic.
No, he's Ghost Rider.
Funny.
but then the second one was like they were basically like, hey, you know how you were kind of crazy in the first one? Fucking go off.
Oh,
go off.
so have
the
you guys
second one.
seen, Crank?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
with Jason Statham.
Yeah.
Those were the directors.
Yeah, it was like Crank.
Yeah, they brought him in and they were like, dude, we want you to go ape shit. like
Yeah.
on this movie. Want you to go super extreme.
Oh
and
yeah,
so
and there are scenes that remind me a lot of Crank where he's just in the microphone screaming.
he's just yelling. Remember, he's like pissing fire.
Yeah.
In this one,
Wild.
Oh, it was rough. But you're right.
Wild.
I would say, for what it was worth, Ghost Rider was passable at that time. I don't know now. People would probably laugh it off. But when you first saw the original Ghost Rider, aside from kind of the hokey intro
It was
shit,
hokey.
the graphics were cool.
Yes,
He
the
was
fire.
cool as...
And now it's been a long time since I watched it,
Yeah, the fire might not look good now.
but I remember some things worked.
Yeah.
It was kind of like, okay, like it worked. I think Rebel Wilson was in it. She's like
Okay.
this goth girl who's
Yeah.
like explaining that she saw him like read this guy's soul or whatever.
Oh, yeah, his special or whatever he does.
But I don't know. It was one of those ones where it was like, it's bad, but I like
It's like a guilty pleasure.
Yeah.
I feel like that might be the most. So Fantastic Four's talked about because, I don't know, not only was it Marvel's first superhero team ever,
Yeah.
but they made 3 of them. And they tried to keep getting it off the ground. Well,
Fantastic Four?
four of them. Tried to keep getting it off the ground. I feel like Ghost Rider is underrated for
He's
like
such-
a character.
Yes, he is he's an incredibly powerful character.
Yeah.
I think if you don't know comic books, you don't know Ghost Rider is a comic book character.
Yeah, you probably
I
watched the
wouldn't-
movie and just thought it was like a skull, flamey guy.
Well, I mean, if you don't watch it, you probably wouldn't look at it and go, "Oh, it's this."
He's got to be from a
A
comic book.
superhero
movie.
because he's
Yeah.
part of those like the
He's an
Marvel
anti-hero.
Yeah, they call them the Marvel Knights, but they're all like these anti like Punisher.
Yeah.
and even Daredevil falls in that category. Ghost Rider, Moon Knight, which they're gonna make one
Yes.
soon from it too.
No, I don't know. I think that there's potential there. I think they should not have Nicolas Cage
Oh,
as
now,
the
no
main
wait, because
guy.
isn't Nicolas Cage 60 now?
I don't know, but there's that movie where Nicolas
gonna
Cage
steal
is
the
about to play
Declaration
Nicolas
of
Cage, and I
Independence.
gotta watch it. But I don't know. So then the next thing that we come chronologically is the end of the X-Men franchise.
Okay, which Dark Phoenix was?
Well, no, so I'm sorry.
Oh.
Last Stand.
Oh, okay. So they're both hot garbage, and they're both the Dark Phoenix saga.
Yes.
But X-Men had super highs and super lows.
We
which is
should do an
crazy.
X-Men movie
Yeah,
episode.
Yeah, I would go back through them in detail.
But the Last Stand, we'll probably get there, but the first X-Men movie was corny, but but it worked.
I mean, it was interesting. I remember I was a huge fan of the comics, and Wolverine's like 5'4" or 5'3".
Yeah, he's not a tall dude.
and he's super jacked. And I remember seeing Hugh Jackman for the first time in that role, and I was like, that's not really Wolverine.
They're like,
though.
"We need a jacked man," and they're like,
Huge
"Jackman,
Jackman.
Jackman,
Huge Jackman.
Jackman."
yeah.
A
And-
huge Jackman.
And no, I mean,
So dumb.
physically, no, he doesn't fit the role, but I think he does a good job.
No, he made himself fit the role
Yes.
because in the second one he's ripped, in the third one he's insane,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden, dude, he must have been like close to steroids. I'm not saying Hugh Jackman took steroids, but in like the
He's
Wolverine
huge.
and Logan, well, Logan he's just in a jacket the whole time, but I think
He's not as ripped in Logan because he's also supposed to be an old man.
right, that's true. He kind of brought it back, but I feel like they did good stuff with Wolverine, and then the X-Men had rough.
Well, so you had the first trilogy,
Yes, up
Which-
to Last Stand.
which were fine.
Yeah.
And then you had like a random X-Men, you had a random Wolverine movie, blah, blah, blah. And then they did First Class and they kind of tried to reboot the franchise again. And
Right.
it was kind of the same idea where it kind of just like,
Well,
like-
funny enough is with the Wolverine X-Men Origins,
yeah.
like that
The first one
that,
sucked.
that technically though was a pre-MCU Deadpool.
Yes.
Right.
Right.
Which Ashley didn't know. She actually saw this the other day and she was like, I don't even remember that guy from the end of the movie. I was like, yeah, they took Ryan Reynolds, butchered him,
Yeah.
made him look just like a burn unit patient, which technically that's what he's supposed to look like. But then they like added the worst like costume design I've ever seen.
Bad.
Like I remember him being in it, but I didn't remember that costume. that you
It's
showed
so
me.
bad. It's so bad.
Yeah, so
Like,
they when Wolverine was in the group that he was in with Stryker and blah blah blah.
Weapon,
Wade
the X, yeah, Weapon
Wade
X
was
brother.
there, and then they were showing off that he like had his ninja swords and stuff.
Yeah,
and whatever.
right.
And he was snarky. And
right.
then
And so there was hope because you were like, oh, Ryan Reynolds playing.
yeah, and
this
then
character.
they make him Deadpool, and it just doesn't work.
It tanked
He
so
looks
hard.
terrible.
I remember being in the theater, and when you first see him, and all of a sudden his stupid arm blades come out, you're like, "What the fuck
And he has
is
like
that thing?"
He has like the Deadpool kind of symbols on his face,
Yeah, they're-
weird.
yeah, yeah.
And you're just like, what did they do
Yeah,
to
what
my
were you
boy?
thinking? Because I think up until that, the movie was okay, and then at the end,
It
it's
was
like
corny,
this
but it
weird
worked.
battle. Because dude, he has laser.
Yes,
like
he's got like Cyclops eyes.
right.
Lather eye.
He got
Lasers.
laser. Call me laser.
He's got lasers. It just did not work. But honestly, X-Men Last Stand, they introduced some cool characters, but then it was corny, dude.
On the Juggernaut, bitch.
Oh God.
The Juggernaut was in there,
And then you have Kelsey Grammer as Beast.
yeah. To be fair, he looked good as
It
Beast.
worked.
Yeah, he looked good as Beast, but he was also in his 50s, maybe
Yeah.
or mid 40s.
But
when
then,
he played
but
that
then
role.
it was Wolverine and Jean Grey, and like they
That's-
did not.
Yeah.
Because in the comics they have this like back and forth love story where she's with Scott, but she loves him, blah blah
Right.
blah. And in the movies they did not do a good job of setting that up.
No, well, I mean, okay, with Femke,
He's
with-
into her, and she's just like, I'm cold. I'm with Scott.
Yeah, with Femke Jensen, like it was very much where she was like playing hard to get for the most
Yeah,
part.
but-
But then Logan was also very like creepy stalker about
Yeah.
her too.
I thought she was a good Jean Grey.
She was a good Jean Grey.
I thought
agree.
she worked.
Yeah, I agree.
But like it just, it was very much at the end. He's like, I love you, and then like stabs her, and you're just kind of like, why? Just
Yeah,
stab her.
It wasn't good. It wasn't the same director. If you guys haven't heard the story, we'll go back through and do a whole X-Men
I think we should
episode
do
where we
an
can
X-Men
talk
episode.
about the faults and what went well through that. But then,
Because I could talk for an hour and a half about how much I love the second one.
Yeah, but yeah, it's really good.
So then 2005,
Yeah. talk to me.
Elektra.
Oh my God, I forgot Jennifer Gardner.
It's so bad.
Oh my goodness.
And let me be clear.
Let me be clear.
There was a time
Yeah.
in my life I read every single Daredevil comic that had been released up to
You've
that
been
point.
a big Daredevil fan.
I
yes.
love Daredevil. I followed Elektra for a long time. I love Daredevil. Terrible. Absolutely terrible.
It's not
Elektra
good.
is
I know.
terrible. The only reason she was Elektra because her husband was Ben Affleck,
Right.
and he was Daredevil. That's the only reason they were in that movie together.
They were together at that point.
I thought they were.
Oh yeah, the Benifer, like
No.
the second one.
Maybe
or
they
no?
weren't. I don't fucking know.
I don't think they were.
I don't remember.
She was absolutely terrible as Elektra. She was her. So Elektra, the character Elektra Nachios, she is, she's Hispanic. Like she's from Spain. So not Hispanic, but she's from Spain.
Yeah.
Jennifer Garner is not from Spain. So I don't know what they were trying to do there.
I mean, maybe they were just going for a look.
yeah, it just didn't work. I didn't believe that she was a ninja assassin. I did not believe for 1 second that she knew anything
Well,
about the
she's
size that
not
she carried.
Any other character that Jennifer Garner has played, she's not a badass.
No, she's a very pretty.
She's very
Like,
soft-spoken.
Yeah.
Like,
Capital One. What's in your wallet? I don't know
well,
if
and I
that's her.
think because she was Sydney Bristow on Alias for a long
Oh,
time.
right. That's right. Where she did get her badassery from, maybe.
But she wasn't. She was like girl next door.
Yeah. She's
spy.
still soft spoken in that though.
I didn't believe for 1 second that she was effective.
Now she spawned though from the Daredevil movie.
Yes.
Right? Because he sees her in with, which is crazy. Ben Affleck has been more superheroes than I know. I don't know.
He's been two.
Okay, sure. So is Chris
So is Chris
Evans.
Evans.
So is
So is Ryan Reynolds.
Ryan Reynolds.
When
yeah.
did Elektra come out?
2005.
Okay, they
Are you looking at their
Just go past
dating
it.
profile?
started dating in 2004.
Oh, see, so they were dating during
Maybe
the
they were
production of
dating-
Daredevil, or
Because of Daredevil.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
So then next is the last entrance in the Blade movie. So Blade Trinity, which has Ryan Reynolds.
which is okay, and obviously not a MCU, not a universe, and so you could have those characters in there. But that's where to be honest, that's where I think they casted him for Deadpool, is they saw that movie.
Absolutely, because he's snarky.
Yep.
And he
Yep.
wears a name tag the whole time that says, "Hello, my name is fuck you."
Yeah, he's very much
honestly,
like
he was
that.
one of the only good things about that movie, just because he was entertaining to watch.
Who was the villain in that movie?
I don't know.
Wasn't it
I don't
Triple H? Like the wrestler?
Was he really?
I swear he was one of the villains in Blade Trinity. Because it's Blade, Blade 2, and Blade Trinity. The first Blade,
So
I think it's
Blade
Steven
Trinity
Dorff.
introduced a new take on Dracula, Dominic Purcell,
Yeah.
known as Drake, who planned to wipe out all inferior species on the planet.
Yep.
That's all I have about it.
Okay. Because I know Steven Dorff, I think, and Ethan Hawke in one of those? I don't remember.
I think you're thinking of Daybreakers.
Oh, okay. Maybe I am. I do know, though, before Wesley Snipes got screwed over his tax situation,
Oh, God.
that people loved Blade.
Okay,
Like,
for what it's worth,
he was a good
I
Blade.
think they're good. They have their place.
Yeah. Told you, dude.
Yeah,
What is
Triple
his name?
H.
Jarko.
Jarko Grimwood.
Oh
Yeah.
God.
Oh, Triple H.
Honestly, the first Blade is good. Wesley
yeah,
Snipes
it's good.
looked like Blade.
Yeah, he did for sure.
The art direction was correct. I mean,
Yeah.
the second one, they were all hokey. In my brain, they're
Yeah.
kind of similar to the Underworld movies.
Yeah, they were, but I remember them feling more.
Action.
Yeah, maybe more actiony, more
dark. I
yeah,
don't know.
versus more like Castlevania-y.
Yeah. I don't know. I think they're good. I think that they get forgotten about, and
Yeah,
I'm
they do.
excited because I think Mahershala Ali is going to be the new Blade.
Yeah, he was the one who played Cottonmouth in Luke Cage.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm excited for that. I love Blade. I'm a huge Blade fan, so more of it I think is good. Spike TV did a Blade TV show for a while, and
Oh,
it sucked.
that's right. Yeah, I remember that.
But
Some TV does not hit though. Like when
No.
you're going for that stuff,
Well,
especially
and-
I don't know, that dark vampire stuff.
you can't have it on cable.
It depends. Some work. True Blood, right, was super popular.
Yeah, but it was on HBO.
But it was.
I just mean you can't have
that's
it on
true.
Spike TV.
And when HBO does, dun, 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 dun,
Yeah.
dun, then they can do anything.
So then you have obviously Spider-Man 2 in
Right.
2004.
Sure, we can grace over that.
And then 2004 is also The Punisher.
Okay.
With Thomas Jane.
Okay, I enjoyed that movie very much. A lot of people hate John Travolta's performance as the bad guy. I thought he did fantastic. Do you remember that movie, Ash? The original Punisher?
No, I never saw it.
So I think it's awesome. And
It's okay.
Do you remember when like his friend is being tortured? They're like ripping his piercings out of his face.
Yeah.
Like I remember that type of stuff, and I was like, I really like his little band of gangs that are in the apartment that he's
Yeah.
protecting, and it's the same story. His wife and daughter, his wife and daughter,
Kids.
or
I don't
son
know. I don't remember.
gets killed. He's Castle, and it was weird though because when he was cast, Thomas Jane is blonde, and
Yeah, he's got like dirty dishwasher.
Yeah,
like dirty dishwater
yeah,
color.
there was a
like,
bunch
Dirty
of
dishwasher.
there was
dirty dishwasher.
there was a bunch of issues because people were like, you don't have dark hair. How can you be him? And that's when people
Hair dye,
started to get
bitch.
really nitpicky from it. But that I
How
know
can you change your hair color?
Right.
we skipped over that because I thought that movie was okay. And then they made another one.
It's not on my list, but I think technically it came out after the MCU had started. So I'm literally just looking at a list.
Warzone came out after
Well,
Iron
this was
Man.
Yeah.
2004. It came out when I was a Blockbuster.
I was gonna say.
so, like,
You're right. So that's unprecedented. Not unprecedented.
2008 is when Warzone came out, so the same year.
Okay. See, and the problem is that normally you wouldn't wait that long to do a sequel between.
well, same with
the
Ghost
two.
Rider.
That's fair. Ghost Rider was longer
Still
too.
like 5 years.
But what people don't know is a lot of times those licenses are going to expire.
Yeah.
And then they are like, we got to get another movie out, and then all of a sudden that's why they're making these reboots, remakes back.
The Punisher
in the day.
Warzone was so bad.
It was really bad. It was Jigsaw is the villain, and I forget Ray Stevenson, I think
Yeah.
is his
Yes.
name. And he's not a terrible actor, but the plot and the movie, that's straight up a B film. If you watch that, it's
100%.
like watching Alien versus Predator 2 Requiem.
Oh, I mean,
Right?
they're both terrible.
Yeah.
Alien versus Predator 2 is better than that.
Fair. It is better than that.
And not by much, but
What Warzone was just there was a lot of missing from it. So
yeah, it was
then
super bad.
Thank God Netflix came out with the Punisher series.
Oh,
'cause-
totally. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, the Thomas Jane movie is okay, but like you could forget it altogether and just
Right.
watch Joe Bernthal.
Yeah, yep.
The Punisher show is so good. It's incredibly violent.
yeah.
It but I hate to say it, but like, you need an R rating for a Punisher movie.
You do.
You can't have PG-13.
It's almost like Punisher and Deadpool must be R-rated. Like
Yes.
those films, you
And
cannot
truthfully,
do
Ghost
it
Rider should be
justice.
too.
I think Ghost Rider should be as well. You're right. You're right.
And Blade should be R rated. Blade was R rated.
Well, Blade, he's got swords. This always bugged me about Ninja Turtles with Leonardo.
Yeah.
The guy's got a pair of katanas.
Katanas.
And you know what he does? He bludgeons them in the head with the ends of his handles.
Right.
That's how he fights them.
Right.
He never slices them. Ever. You see him and he does more kicks, more spins, more flips, and never slices a bitch with his frickin'. And that's why Raph is better, because Raph will straight up stab somebody with a scythe if he has to. I'm just telling you right now.
I mean, Donatello just bonks him with a stick. So.
Yeah, I know. That's right.
2003, Hulk.
Dude,
We talked about it a little bit, but so bad.
Ang Lee's Hulk, okay, for what it's worth, when you first saw it, the graphics looked incredible. Do you remember that?
The
Hulk.
computer graphics of the Hulk
Yes.
will look great.
They screwed it up when they made his dad the villain, and his dad was
Oh,
like
Nick Nolte.
He was able to go into any environment and just like be part of it, like part of electricity or part of water.
Yeah.
And he had like Cerberus dogs that he had to fight
I'm
in
gonna be
like the
honest with you,
forest.
I have
you probably
seen it
forgot it
one time.
Yeah, it's not great. And Nick Nolte, not a great villain. I'm gonna say it.
Nick
I'm saying
Nolte is not a good actor.
No, he's just a good baseball player.
He is. I don't enjoy watching movies he's in. His characters are not interesting. He just kind of seems kind of gravelly and grumpy all the time.
Yes, he does.
I'm not a Nick Nolte fan.
I always thought Nick Nolte and Gary Busey were brothers. Just one had a more unfortunate life.
Well, okay, Nick Nolte is in a movie called 48 Hours with Eddie
yeah,
Murphy.
yep, that's a good movie.
It's a good movie, but Nick Nolte's basically calling him the N-word the whole time.
Oh,
and all that
yeah,
stuff.
that was
and,
his-
And I was joking with Chris one day, and I was like, "Oh, he wasn't acting. That's just Nick Nolte."
You're probably not
Like,
wrong. You're probably not wrong.
It's
But Nick
just-
Nolte is what, 80 now?
He's old dude.
I mean, he's got to be old.
He's an old dude.
I don't mean to skip back or forward, but
Yeah,
is Daredevil started yet? Did we talk about Daredevil?
I'll get there.
Okay. Just want
I
to make sure.
literally have one more movie.
Okay.
2003 was X-Men 2.
Which arguably one of the best X-Men's
I
created.
think it's the best one.
Yep.
I think it's the best one.
Do you remember it, Ash?
It's when
not.
it's when you meet Nightcrawler.
Night-
The scene inside
yes.
the
Yes.
White House.
Andy,
that
I think
scene.
you literally asked me that question a week ago,
I
and I
probably
said,
did.
I don't know. And you're like, you see Nightcrawler, and I'm like, oh, yep.
Yeah.
I
Gets
honestly
out.
that movie's great.
Yeah.
It's so good. And if you're someone that like maybe you want to watch some of these older ones, watch that one. It's so good.
You could probably watch 1 and 2 and be okay.
Just know one's really corny.
One is
Well, they're both corny.
It's corny too. Toad's corny and Sabretooth is corny.
Yeah.
Yeah. Number 1 is
What
corny.
happens to a toad when it gets struck by lightning?
The same-
Same as everything else.
I was so waiting
I'm
for like
Halle
some
Berry.
sweet mic drop to happen.
Yeah.
Funny enough, Halle Berry negotiated in the third one. She was like, I have to lead the X-Men or I'm not coming back.
Yeah.
So if you remember in the third one, she's like the leader of the
Yeah.
X-Men because Scott dies in number 2.
Oh right.
So then all of a sudden they were like, okay, sure. And she drops her accent after the first one. She has like a
Because her character's South African.
she's like South African, and then she has it, and she's like, "Do you hate mutants?" Like that's how she talks in the first one, and then in the other
don't
ones,
remember her
and the
having
other
an
one, she
accent.
drops it. She completely drops it. She's like,
well,
"At least I've chosen a side." That's how she talks.
I'm gonna have to watch this again because I don't remember her having an accent.
Yep. She totally has an accent in the first
I'm
one.
not saying I'm not saying I don't believe you. I'm just saying I don't remember. I don't know. I love the second one. I watch it all the time.
The second one's good, and it has a lot of nods to stuff. And Logan just fighting with Stryker, where it's a human villain instead of mutants, is
Yes.
cool. It's
Yeah.
really cool.
Well, and then you meet Lady Deathstrike.
Yes, you do. Yeah, and you get to meet her again in Wolverine when he goes to Japan.
Yeah,
Something like
What's
that?
that one called?
Wolverine.
So there's X-Men Origins Wolverine.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
then Wolverine.
So you
Yeah.
can just so you don't get confused. The first one, just call it X-Men Origins.
Oh, sure.
You don't have to call it Wolverine. That's what the title is, but it's easier to remember. It's X-Men Origins, then Wolverine, then Logan.
Is it Wolverine or the Wolverine?
Oh, I think it's the Wolverine.
Yeah.
I think you're right. But it's actually awesome because he fights Silver Samurai in that one, which I think is a badass character.
Yes. So then 2003 Daredevil.
Ben Affleck.
Ben Affleck.
Ben Affleck is Daredevil. And I think a lot of people probably groaned when he was cast. We were like, but wasn't he in his prime at that time too?
Yes, I'll be honest. I didn't hate it.
Yeah,
I didn't
right,
hate him
sure.
as Matt Murdock.
Yeah.
And he looks more like the comic Matt Murdock than
That's fair.
the guy for the Netflix show does.
Yeah, I forget his name.
Charlie
What is
Murphy.
Yeah, he was
I
in
wanna
Stardust.
say. Oh yeah, he was.
Yeah.
He was in Spider-Man.
Oh, you just spoiled that for everybody.
I don't care. It's been out for a month.
I'll release this episode in a year.
So
Charlie Cox.
Who's Charlie
the-
Murphy?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm Charlie Murphy.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say I think it's Eddie Murphy's brother. I don't know. I thought it was okay.
Charlie Murphy is a female.
I mean, there's probably many Charlie
No,
Murphys.
there's a Charlie Murphy.
If your name is Charlie Murphy,
There's a Charlie
Hello.
Murphy.
Call us now.
Who
I'm
is
Charlie
in
Murphy.
Norbit? Is he literally Eddie Murphy's brother?
Yes.
I think so.
Yes, he is.
Oh, you weren't joking.
Yeah, this is legit.
So obviously you meet Elektra as Jennifer Garner, and then Michael Clark Duncan is Kingpin.
Which, okay, I liked the decision on that, but some people were like, no, because Kingpin is white, not black.
I
But
didn't care about that. I mean, Michael Clark Duncan physically.
had the Kingpin.
Looked like Kingpin.
He did. And, dude, when he takes it off and they fight, you're like, oh, Michael Clark Duncan.
He was
That's a
ripped.
jack dude. And I think he passed 10 years later or something like that.
Yeah.
Probably from being too big.
Well, and then you had Colin Farrell's Bullseye, the worst
ooh.
villain.
Oh, that's
That
why
was
I'm
bad. That was bad.
So-
that's why I'm scared
Even I
about
remember that.
Batman a little bit, my friends. I'm
Yeah.
scared about Batman because
Well,
Colin Farrell can screw up
I,
villains.
I will say here's what I have to say about Colin Farrell. It's been 20 years since that movie came out.
so I should give him a break.
and Colin Farrell still sucks.
Some things
Phone booth is good.
that's so old. Honestly, it's like hit or miss
Yeah.
with his acting.
Fair.
But some stuff he is a great actor, and other stuff you're like, ooh.
No, he is because there's what is that one? It's like two brothers, right? Like in European times or something like that.
Brute.
Is that what it is? Yeah,
In
and that's
Bruges.
actually a
They're
great.
Hitmen.
That's actually
a really
great
good movie.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. It's got Ralph Fiennes
I don't
in
think
it.
it's
like-
his acting that makes that movie though.
That's fair.
No, I would agree with
That's
that. He's just very hit or miss on his acting.
Yeah.
And so it could be great.
It could be great.
But I mean, he
It
looks
could be
good
dog
as a penguin.
shit.
It could be dog shit. That whole movie could be dog shit. But my main issue with that was he was still. So I'm trying to vocalize what I'm trying to say here. Sorry.
Okay, sure.
When you have these, when you have the superhero movies, I think that some people want it to look as comic accurate as possible.
That's fair.
Which I understand.
Like just fandom.
But then
Yeah.
you have to have people who look at it and go, okay, here's the costume trying to be as comic accurate as possible. This looks fucking stupid.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
His was bad because
And-
wasn't it a leather coat?
It's like a blue leather coat
He
and
looked
it's
like-
like a long coat and Bullseye has
It's like-
his unitard in the comics.
Yeah.
He's got like a bullseye on his forehead. Well, what they did was they put him in like a blue coat, which okay. But then they put like a scar in
Yeah.
his forehead that was like
That
the
looked like a
Target
bullseye,
logo.
yeah.
It was literally just like the rings and it was like pink and puffy and angry.
Yeah, it's weird looking.
Because it's all fake,
Right.
And it just looks like shit. It looks puffy.
It's pretty bad. He
and
looks like Ray Liotta in The Name of the King. You know what I'm saying? Mhm.
and
I'm a wizard in a leather jacket.
so it very much was like he looks stupid.
Yeah, he did look stupid.
And I wonder if he was like, well, I look stupid. I might as well be stupid.
Does he have an accent? His traditional.
His traditional accent.
Well, I'm saying he's. I don't know if he's Australian
Scottish.
or Scottish. I think.
He's Irish.
Damn it, I'm sorry.
You could say it's the same thing, but they'll be mad.
Oh, people will
Scottish
be
people
mad.
will be like, "We're very different."
I'm
That's the
literally
worst
like,
Scottish
I'm
accent.
Scottish. I'm Irish.
Oh,
I'm literally like
I'm a
half Scottish and half
Scotsman.
Irish. And
I'm a
people
wee
are like,
little Irishman.
people are like, where did Campbell come from? I'm like, I don't know.
If I know.
Then
Yeah, sure. I don't know.
that's when you just say what? Great Britain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Somewhere over there.
So funny enough, in
Somewhere to the
The
to the
UK.
right.
there. So do you know there's an R-rated cut of Daredevil?
There's an unrated cut.
Oh, I thought it was R-rated. Sorry.
It's unrated.
Okay, it's
It's
unrated.
not terrible.
It's not terrible, and it allows Daredevil to be more violent.
Yes.
In it, but also a Nickelback song is in there.
Oh, I forgot about
it
that.
Also makes it not as cool.
Is it Photograph?
No,
Okay,
that would
good.
be funny.
Look at
too.
this
Terrible. He's like
photograph.
fighting
You
the bad
can't 'cause
guys.
you're a blind guy. Honestly, one thing I did like about Daredevil was they did try to be very comic accurate.
Yes, they did. They tried.
So the whole like Daredevil like doing the 2Ds on the ground and lighting it on fire,
Yep,
that
that's
happens.
on the front of a comic, if I'm not mistaken.
It's all the
right?
time. That's
Yeah.
his calling card. And but I will say, same with Punisher. Go watch the freaking Netflix show. It's so good.
The Netflix
The
show
Daredevil
probably
Netflix show.
probably just puts dust on the other one. That's a bad way of saying it. Leaves in the
like
dust.
audibly
You know what I
laughs at the Ben Affleck one.
It does.
But
it does.
it's still if you're a fan of the Daredevil comic or like the character, the movie's worth watching. Just know it's a piece of shit.
It's not okay. I mean, yeah, it's not bad. It's okay.
not good. It's
It's
not
hard
good.
for me to go back because I remember enjoying it as a kid. Like I thought it was okay, not a kid, but as a young adult,
As a youngin.
as a young man.
Then you have the first Spider-Man, 2002.
Oh sure, Toby.
Which I mean, is it part of the MCU now?
See, this is where everyone's going to start to question
In
that
some
stuff.
universe
'cause
it is.
Technically, they are. Yeah.
And then you have Blade 2 as 2002.
Oh sure.
And then the first X-Men actually came out in 2000.
Yep, I remember seeing banners at our theater during that time.
Just the metal X, like.
I sophomore, and I remember walking in to the theater with my friends, and I was like, "Do you guys see that? That's Sabretooth. That's what he's gonna look like in the movie."
Oh my gosh, Sabretooth looks so
He's
silly.
so bad because I remember seeing it in the film, and I was like, "That's not Sabretooth." Yeah, to be fair, I thought Ian McKellen played a good Magneto,
He's an incredible Magneto.
but he was also cast, I believe, too old as Magneto. I like that they did the Michael Fassbender cross universe stuff later.
Well, I mean,
But-
Patrick Stewart was born to play Professor X.
Yes, he
okay,
was.
let's just get it out there.
But also was James McAvoy.
He looked pretty good.
Don't touch my hair.
I think that those two are old friends.
Yeah.
Like Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen.
Are they both knighted?
They
Isn't
might
it
be.
Sir Ian McKellen and Sir Patrick Stewart?
I think so. But the thing that
Yes, Queen.
Andy was so proud of himself.
Yes, Queen.
yeah. So I think that them together works because they're adversaries and they're the same age. So it's believable.
Yep.
But then in the cartoon, Magneto is older.
Yeah, okay. 'cause
He's not an elderly man.
No, he's got gray
but
hair.
he's older.
Yes, he is older. But Xavier,
so-
technically, I guess they're both probably in their 50s.
Yeah.
When they made those movies, they were in their
50s to 60s
late
maybe.
50s, 60s. So it's not too far
To
off.
me, it works, but I can get the argument
Right.
that he's probably a little too old.
How long are you going to be doing this war, Charles?
But then I mean, you also have it's early 2000s. His character arc is that his powers, were very prevalent during
Yep,
the Holocaust.
sure.
It would make sense that he is as old as he is if he was like a young,
I thought
maybe
that
early
was-
teen at the Holocaust.
I thought that scene was dope when they recreate that. Do you remember that? So the very
So they
first
did
one
it in X-Men, and then they did it in First Class.
in First Class.
Yeah.
Yep, and it's pretty cool. It's I don't know
It's
if it's shot for
it's
shot, but it's
heart-wrenching. It's
really
awful.
good. It's probably the best introduction to a character because then you feel for Eric Magneto
Yes.
the entire series. Like you
Yes.
feel for what he's had to go through. So the Brotherhood of Mutants.
I mean, come on, like that.
Side note.
Yes, I know.
If you're ever in the Toronto area,
Oh yes,
Casa Loma
yes.
is really cool, and it's where they shot all the X-Men movies.
I've never been so giddy. Like I walked in and I see the X-Men Xavier School for Xavier
Yeah.
hallway, and I was like, I'm in the movie.
and now when you watch the movies, you're like, I
I've been
know
there.
that place.
yeah.
Did you? And you knew that that's where you were
Yeah,
going.
yeah, because
Yeah.
it says like filming locations and stuff because
Yeah.
they've used it for a lot of
Sure.
stuff. But Xavier, like the School for Gifted Youngsters,
Yes.
is the
You're like, I know that
yeah,
hallway.
Oh, so cool.
I've seen it. I've never been someone who's really ever wanted to go to Hawaii, but the only reason I would ever go
I already know
is
this.
to take the tour where I can go see the filming locations for Jurassic
Jurassic
Park.
Park, and our brother did that, right? Chad.
Did he?
Yeah, him and Kelsey went and saw the Jurassic Park stuff. I thought
I don't listen to him.
I don't listen to my brother. I mean, he's my brother-in-law. He's your brother. You should
There's-
know.
You have the conversations. I just sit nearby.
There's two places like Hawaii. I couldn't care any less if I ever go or not, but if I'm ever gonna go, it's because I want to go see Jurassic Park and
Yeah.
probably Pearl Harbor too, right?
I would go with you.
But
I want to see Jurassic Park.
I've never really wanted to go to New York City because I don't care. It seems overwhelming to me.
I don't want. I want
but-
to see where Spider-Man swings.
But I want to go. No, I'd want to go see the firehouse from Ghostbusters. You can go find it,
okay, that's fair.
but you
I
can't
want
go
to see
in.
the Battle for New York from Avengers.
So you go there. It's like the Goonies house. You're like, and there it is.
Exactly. Well,
Okay,
exactly, and that's why I
we-
wouldn't go.
I don't want to touch on the Goonies. We could do a whole episode on that.
Really?
All right.
Okay, maybe not.
I've never seen it.
Maybe
Are
not.
you for real?
Dude, do you know how many movies she hasn't seen, Amanda? Like, I start talking about stuff. She's like,
My mom literally gave me a Goonies Christmas horn this
Even,
year. I love
even
I've
in
never
this
seen that.
in this list of movies that we've been discussing today, I have seen
oh my god, I can't believe you haven't seen all of the pre-MCU
I've seen
stuff.
Daredevil,
Wow.
the X-Men movies, and the Fantastic Four movies.
Fan Four Stick?
Yes.
Okay.
I think you should watch. Well, do you like vampire stuff?
Would you like Blade, you think?
Maybe. I don't know.
Okay.
I think it's worthwhile. I think Blade's worth.
You know what
watching.
she just watched? She just watched Karate Kid.
Yeah, it was underwhelming.
I don't love them.
I like Cobra Kai better than I like.
Yeah,
See, I
to be
haven't watched that. You
Cobra
guys-
Kai's
you guys tell me,
really
like-
good.
Speaking of Blade, 1998, Blade.
Oh, nailed it. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I thought it was great. Chris Christopherson was like his buddy.
Oh, right.
And then
right.
yeah, Steven Dorff was the bad guy.
That's what I thought.
It's dated because it's late 90s.
But it's still good.
I think it's good. I don't know. I like them.
No,
They're-
the Blade. I think the Blade movies. I think they'll hold up. I think you'll enjoy it. Did you like watching?
Do you like Underworld?
Sure.
Okay, I think she could
I'd
get
watch
through
it.
it.
No,
Did
I'd
you say
watch
you
Blade.
haven't seen Daredevil then, or
I
Elektra?
have
I
seen
have.
Daredevil.
Oh, okay, but not
Yeah.
Elektra.
No, not Elektra.
So
No.
you watched Elektra when we were young.
Nope.
So
when
then,
we were young.
Then you have like the really early kind of stuff. So like the Fantastic Four movie in 1994,
Right.
where the Thing looks like he's made out of couch foam,
Yeah, it's really bad.
and then
Can you imagine going through an entire film process? You go to the editing room floor. You talk to your director. You talk to your producers. You're doing everything you possibly can to make that movie awesome. And they all see it. And finally, they're like, this is so shit. We cannot release this film.
oh yeah,
Like,
so bad.
Who effed up that bad during production that you didn't notice a little bit of the bad stuff that early?
it was terrible.
Like, apparently you can get it online. Like, you just look up and you can
You can find
download
it.
it because
You can
it's
find
been
it.
released, but it's not great.
No, so then you
what are you
19
talking about?
The
original
original.
1994 Fantastic Four movie came out. It's an like
You can Google it.
it never was released because it was that
Oh.
bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never
So
heard
then
of this.
1990, Captain America.
Oh,
Have
I
you never
forgot.
watched
No,
it?
I have. It's a bit maybe
It's
when I
bad.
I mean, I was 10. I was 10, so I think I have
Okay,
seen
so
it.
you're basing things on your
Yeah,
life.
yeah. Every time.
No, so
Are you looking at this right now? Oh, she's at.
No, I was laughing at you basing
When
it
I'm
on
10.
how old you were.
So we.
Oh, I forgot about
Oh my
Captain America.
god. Why does that wait, why does this Fantastic
You
Four
were
movie
10 in 1990?
Oh, I thought you said 94. I'm sorry.
No.
So 6.
I've actually seen it.
Yeah.
It's terrible. The
Okay.
Red Skull looked okay,
Sure.
but because they pretty much just shaved him and painted his face red.
Right.
But it's bad.
Yeah.
It's bad. The
Yeah.
guy looks nothing like what you think Captain America
it's-
looks
well,
like.
I mean, funny enough is that's comic accurate, but comic
Yes.
accurate looks retarded on.
yes, and
on-
that's the problem that these creators have to kind of toe the line.
Yeah.
Is they can't totally remake the costume because then too many people will cry about it.
Yep.
But then if they take it right out of the comic book, it's gonna look dumb.
Some of them look really silly.
So, like
Yeah.
Electro,
Yeah.
for instance.
Oh God. Yeah.
His costume in the comics, he's in like a yellow jumpsuit with like a jaggedy star
Yeah.
around his head.
Yeah, it's like yellow and green, and you're right. It's like a huge star, like a giant star, like
Giant.
comical.
and that's like
electric
his
star.
headpiece.
Uh-huh.
And so if they had brought him into the first movie, like the Amazing Spider-Man 2, with that,
Comes with sideshow Mel floppy
Yes.
stars.
and you would have
Peter.
laughed, it would have been terrible.
Oh, yeah.
So then they made the decision to make him like
Blue.
to look like electricity. Okay. But like they completely scrapped his character design. So there you have the far end of that spectrum
Yeah.
where they go, this is not going to work at all.
Right.
We have to start over.
That's fair.
Then you have Colin Farrell from Daredevil where they go, his costume isn't going to work. We need to kind of modernize it a little
Give him
bit.
a creepy birthmark Target scar.
But then it just does not work.
yeah. And what's
they-
funny, in all the scenes, he like,
Oh,
He, like, he'll
he's
always-
touching it.
he's
And
always
I
like-
think he licks his finger
yeah,
once
he
and then
does.
like rubs
he
it.
licks his finger and he's like, gotcha, Daredevil.
Yeah, oh,
and then
yeah.
runs away.
It's so bad.
That's literally the movie where I decided I hate Colin Farrell.
yeah, it's like, nah, that's not
Yeah,
a good,
it's bad.
not a good time.
They did retcon Electro's costume a little bit.
They did.
for the new Spider-Man?
Well, you can't, to be fair, lots of stuff you can't do because in the 80s and 90s, females wore basically a bathing suit up their crack.
Yeah.
And that was it. And like, it's like, okay, you can't even truly fight in that before you have a wardrobe malfunction. So
Yeah.
that makes sense to me why they would have gone that route. They did it also with Olivia Munn in X-Men, but she actually had the high rise, like,
Yeah, she
leg
had the
thing.
bikini underwear on.
And it was like, they didn't think they were going to do that. They thought they would like redo her like costume, but she was like, that was the most uncomfortable thing I ever had to film
she
in.
pretty much
And
had a
it's like,
wedgie the whole
yeah,
time.
it's like right up your crack.
So then 1989 is The Punisher with Dolph Lundgren.
Oh, dude. And I have that movie and I still haven't
It's so
seen
bad.
it. I haven't seen
It's
it.
so corny.
I have it.
Yeah, I mean, it's quite literally the story.
Yep.
He looks okay as John Castle. Like,
Yeah,
he
if I'm
doesn't
not
look
mistaken-
like, I will break you.
Well, it's funny because he's blonde too. And they
Yeah.
gave him dark hair.
It works. His English at that time was not good.
Didn't he do
So-
He-Man like right around the same time?
Yeah,
too?
late 80s, mid to late 80s,
Look
they
at
were
that.
really trying
Look
to
at
put him
us.
in a lot of stuff.
Look at us.
And then 1986, Howard the Duck.
Oh, you skipped one.
I didn't as far as my list goes.
1989.
I'm looking at Marvel movies.
Oh, you're right. I'm sorry. I'm gonna
Drop
go back.
the attitude.
I'm gonna go back. I was about to talk about DC stuff, but I will
I
not.
know.
I will not.
I was about to be like, don't talk to me about Batman.
I will not.
I
Because
didn't miss it.
Superman and Batman, arguably great films for being that old.
Wait, so I'm going through this whole list of movies, and this is the first time you're telling me I've missed a DC movie. This is the first time it occurs to you.
I think you also missed.
He just heard 1989 and it
Yes.
triggers.
There's literally been like 15 Superman
I'm
movies.
like 1989.
Oh, excuse me. Yeah, so
Marty.
Howard the Duck.
Oh God, Howard.
Bad.
So I was 0.
Yeah,
I was
you-
gonna say I was -2, so I wouldn't have seen it.
And they actually brought him back into the universe for an end credit scene, and that's it so far.
He's also in the What If series.
Oh, that's right. I honestly have tried to get into the What If series. Not for me.
I liked
I'm
it.
not enjoying it. I watched Agent Carter, like that one, and I was like, nope, boring. Don't like it.
I think they're worth watching because they
Do not
give
like-
they give you more.
Yeah.
And you actually learn a lot about the multiverse.
I mean, I guess I have to do it. I'm just okay. Whatever. I will. I'll do it.
The Captain Carter one's fine.
I'll do it.
There's actually some after that are really good ones where like each one's their own episode. I'm not going to tell you everything, but like
Right.
one is like all the Avengers are like mysteriously dying
Oh, okay.
and a cool guy is behind it. Like that one's cool.
Deadpool.
No.
Dang it.
And then the zombies one is good. I'm trying to think what are the other ones. Some of them are like
Yeah.
but it ends up being a lot about the multiverse, and so I found it interesting.
I have to go. Sometimes you just have to bite the bullet, get through it. That's what I did to watch the stupid Netflix Defenders.
Well, I thought, I mean,
So bitter.
what if it's, I mean, for what it's worth, Disney actually, we've talked about this before.
Yeah.
Disney puts the money in.
Right.
So the voice actors are correct. Oh, you got to watch it because there's a Doctor Strange episode.
Right, which is
you
important.
have to watch
it's
that.
important to that
Because
to
there are
the story.
characters that have
Okay.
been announced for the new
Right.
Doctor Strange movie that you will probably understand more about it if you watch
Okay,
that.
I will promise I will watch the Doctor Strange one. I promise.
Watch them all. There's literally like 6.
Do you have more on there?
No.
Was there not a Spider-Man movie?
No.
1960 something Spider-Man movie?
I don't have it.
Or was it just a TV show?
I think it was the TV show.
I got it. Okay. All right. Because that costume looks bad.
Oh, it
In
looks
the
like
60
kids' pajamas.
Right. I think it was the same time that the Batman stuff was being filmed.
Yeah.
Right? Like, and they were like, well, they're doing Batman. We should do Spider-Man. What are you going to do? We'll put him in literally a cloth, like.
A leotard.
Yeah, it was bad. It's bad.
So, yeah.
Looks
so,
like
I
a
mean,
quilt.
obviously, there were also Spider-Man and Batman movies being released at the same
Yeah.
Superman and Batman movies
Right,
being released
right.
at the same time. Christopher Reeve was Superman. He also was with Richard Pryor for some reason in one movie.
Yeah.
And then you had Henry Cavill take over as the new Superman, and then Tom Welling
Right. Yep. You're right.
was Superman for one movie. And then Batman has obviously had a million iterations of Batman.
So many Batmans. Batman will go on forever. It's like a legacy. Series.
And honestly, I think that we should do an episode about X-Men movies, and I think we already did one about Batman movies.
Yep. You guys go check out Batman.
Not Batman movies. We did Batman 101.
Yeah, but it kind of talks about a lot of the Batman stuff, but we might not have talked about movies specifically in that
Yeah.
one. So,
well, if
yeah.
we haven't, we should do an episode about Batman
I'm
movies.
down.
But I mean, at that time, DC, I think, wasn't releasing a ton of movies.
No, those were
They
their two
putting
franchises.
They were
Yep.
putting their eggs in the
Yep.
basket of Superman and Batman.
Which, to be fair, it was worth it.
Yeah,
It was
and-
great. But Marvel was trying new things, not doing great. So that's crazy to think, though.
Yeah.
Before the Marvel Cinematic Universe, overall, it was not great. Like
There was a
X-Men,
couple good
X-Men
ones.
Blade. Okay, we'll give them those ones. Fantastic Four, maybe it had some popularity because they made video games and stuff out of it.
well, and
but-
it was Fox and Sony.
right.
And they were just like, let's see if this one works. Let's see if this one
the
works.
licensing stuff is really strange.
Yeah.
Like on who's allowed and what's allowed. Like even when James Gunn he's making something right now, Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Yeah.
There are certain characters he still can't use that
Yes.
are villains in that are someone else's rights.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. So I think Universal owns a bunch of stuff.
It would be
still.
hard to like tell a story.
That's who owns Hulk. We looked it up, right? Universal.
Yeah.
So out of all the comic book characters, that the Hulk, who can't be in his own independent Marvel film because Universal's like, nope, mine.
Well, I mean, come on. There have been 2 different movies about the Hulk, and that neither have done well, or are good.
Yeah, I would say that Incredible Hulk was okay, but I do not like Edward Norton. So
No, I mean, Mark
that's just
Ruffalo,
me.
I think he makes a good Bruce
He's
Banner and a good
yeah,
Hulk.
He does both.
But I think I wouldn't necessarily be interested in watching a movie.
I don't
about
think there's
him.
much you can do anymore with it too. I mean, they tried with the
Thor-
smart Hulk thing.
Thor Ragnarok, you got about as close to Planet
Yep.
Hulk as you're ever going to get.
Yep, that's fair.
And I thought that was a pretty good. Hulk gets half a movie.
The only way they could do it is if they do the Red Hulk storyline, where it's General Ross.
Well, you're going to get the She-Hulk TV show.
Oh, that's true. You're right. So maybe
So-
that might rub people the right way.
Maybe.
Is it She-Hulk? Is it on Disney or is it on Netflix?
I think it's going to be Disney Plus.
Okay.
I don't think Netflix is doing any more Disney content.
or sorry, Marvel content. Oh,
Yeah,
by
sorry.
Disney. Yep, you're right though. Yep.
But I don't know.
Cool. So what are you excited to watch now, Ash, after going through the pre-MCU? She's like, no, I'll pass. I'll just stick with the MCU.
Yep.
You're like, I could just skip all of these and it's not necessary.
I don't think there's any that you talked about that I'm like, all right, I should probably.
I would say, you've seen Ghost Riders?
No.
Ghost Rider.
Oh, maybe Ghost Rider, just for Nicolas Cage fun.
Sure.
Yeah. It's
I-
like,
Stick it in.
I'm going to watch Blade again.
I would watch Blade again too.
That shows my age because I just said I would stick a movie in.
VHS style. Guys, if you are
I'll
still,
rewind it first.
if you guys are still listening, and you have,
Yes, they're still listening. They wouldn't hear you.
I
if
hate
they
it when you
weren't
do that.
listening.
well, that's why I think it's funny.
I love you to death, but I hate it when you do that.
I know. I'm gonna. Okay, then I'll take it back.
Thank you for
Whether
still
you're listening or not, we need to hear from you. What is your favorite pre-MCU movie? And Amanda, where can people come find us?
Okay, so come check out our Instagram at Real Awkward Podcast. Come hang out with us over there. We also have a Patreon. Check us out. Check out the Real Awkward page on Patreon. Become a Real Awkward Rube for $3 a month.
RUBE.
You get access to exclusive episodes. I may send you a sticker.
She will.
And we'll see what other stuff happens. I can't make any promises at this time.
That's why it's only $3
Price
a
of
month.
partition may vary.
Rules can change at any time without notice.
Asterisks, I do whatever the fuck I want.
It's like that quick, like at the end of
Blah,
our
blah, blah, blah,
auto
blah, blah, blah,
commercials. Yeah.
May cause diarrhea.
Rules and conditions may apply.
Yeah. If you were in a loved one, have you ever mesocarcinoma? Okay.
If your loved one have ever mesocarcinoma.
All right, guys. Thanks for listening to the Real Awkward Podcast. We will catch you later on the next episode.
Bye-bye.
Bye.